Hello and welcome to another episode of American Amnesia. I'm still working through this 9/11, a decade later, a whole new ball game, Reality and the Beliefs of the Military and Clandestine Community by Gordon Duff. We got into some things here where it started talking about the Israelis and Jews and all this other thing. I tend to be a little bit skeptical when I start hearing people talking about Jews or what have you. And it's not necessarily because Israel is not capable of doing it, the government there. They are capable of doing quite a few bad things, and that's been demonstrable. The Mossad has, there's nothing that they wouldn't stoop to. So that is clear, but at the same time, I do have some reservations when I start seeing that. But at any rate, one of the things I do want to point out is that there is such a thing as Anglo-Israelism, and that is something that should be kept in mind also. And sometimes when we hear the Jews being blamed, we might have to wonder if perhaps that there's not more of a connection with England, and particularly groups like the Fabian Society and that. I'll discuss reasons for my thinking that in the future. But we came to this point here, Romney, master criminal and spy, or simply wannabe Antichrist, thanks to Tex Mars and Christopher Bolin. I like Tex Mars, but I also have to take certain things he says with a grain of salt. But that's true for really a lot of people. So I'll move forward, and some of this will be repetition from earlier. We are now holding strong proof that Romney and Bain Capital are agents of the State of Israel, who is attempting to rig an American election on behalf of a group of European entities unfriendly to the continued freedoms left to the American people. Mitt Romney is, in fact, a clear and present danger to the United States. Chris Bolin has stated the following, and I find Chris a credible source. Romney's Israeli handler, Uri Gadish, I'm still not sure about the pronunciation there. Former war room assistant Ezer Weitzman and Moshe Dayan is the daughter of Israeli Brigadier General Falk Gadish, born Falk Grünfeld, Berlin, 1921, and his Ukrainian-born wife. Gadish is chairman of the management consulting firm Bain & Company, the parent company of Bain Capital, and was the company's managing director under CEO Mitt Romney in 1992. She's like a Jewish mother figure to many of the people at Bain, said ex-Bainey Dan Quinn in Fortune magazine in 1996. Bain Capital owns Clear Channel, the largest radio station group owner in the United States. Clear Channel owns the networks which air most of the most popular radio talk shows, including the Rush Limbaugh Show, the Glenn Beck Program, the Sean Hannity Show, America Now and Andy Dean, Coast to Coast AM, The Savage Nation, The Mark Levin Show, and The David Ramsey Show. I would point out that Beck is Mormon, like Romney. Mitt Romney was co-founder of Bain Capital, along with Bill Bain, seen here. Bain was ousted in 1991, and Romney served as CEO of Bain & Company in 1991 to 1992. In 1991, while Romney was CEO, Gadish was named chairman of the company's policy committee, which set the company's business strategy and policy. In 1992, under Romney, she became managing director. Uri Gadish, who has worked with Bain & Company since 1977, became chairman of Bain & Company in 1993. Uri Gadish, born in Israel in 1951, has worked closely with Mitt Romney since at least 1991. And probably much longer since she joined Bain & Company in 1977 when she was 26. Romney appointed Gadish to his transition team when he became governor of Massachusetts in November 2002. Gadish is the daughter of Falk Gadish, an Israeli brigadier general and former member of the general staff who reorganized the Israeli army in the early 1950s after a stint at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Massachusetts. MIT. Falk's daughter Orit was chosen to serve in Israeli military intelligence. Her first position in the Israeli military was as assistant to Ezer Weizmann, deputy chief of staff who later became resident of Israel. During the early 1970s, she worked in the war room as a bunker where General Moshe Dayan was in charge. As a war room assistant to Weizmann, Orit provided military leaders with documents and correspondence. Prior to joining Bain & Company, Gadish served in the office of the Deputy Chief of Staff of the Israeli Army. Currently, she is on the board of directors of the Paris Center for Peace, an organization headed by a former Chief of Staff of the Israeli military, Lieutenant General Amnon Lipkin-Shahak. The high-level Mossadnik Avner Azulai, managing director of the Mark Rich Foundation, is also on the executive board of the Press Center. If you recall, Mark Rich was the very rich man who was on the run, who paid a nominal fee to one of the Rodham brothers, who's an attorney, who lobbied President Clinton for his amnesty, and was he gave enough money, so it was nice of him, right, to help with the Clinton Library and things like that. So interesting connection there. Romney's intelligence chief and campaign advisor, Mitt Romney, named Michael Chertoff, the Israeli agent who supervised the destruction of the crucial evidence of 9/11, co-chair of the Counterterrorism and Intelligence Advisory Committee in October 2011. The 9/11 cover-up continues. Chertoff, Chertoff is also one of the people who's making out like a bandit for producing machines for the TSA. Just really lovely guy, right? Back to this. Mitt Romney attended the Mossad's Herzliya Conference on Israeli Security in 2007. Romney and the current Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu worked together as consultants at the Boston Consulting Group early in their careers. Romney's close relationship with Ori Gadish and Israeli military intelligence is the real reason he is the chosen candidate of the Zionist establishment. Romney is being supported by high-level Zionists, Israeli military intelligence, and their controlled media network. This relationship between the Israeli military and Mitt Romney, a presidential candidate, should be of great concern to all Americans because this is how the Israeli military plans to drag the United States into a war with Iran. And it could be correct. However, like I say, I do take things with a grain of salt. And this last pin here, Ron Paul. If it is not as clear as it should be, if it is not clear, it should be. Ron Paul won the Republican nomination for president. He could have won the Democratic nomination just as easily. The only reason we are seeing Romney is that he is a foreign agent who represents an attempt at further overthrowing American freedoms and has absolutely no right to represent himself as a candidate for the Republican Party. The nominating process, which has yet to conclude, has been wrought with vote rigging, millions of bribes, and violations of every kind. Ron Paul won, and Romney is a foreign spy, a demagogue, a dangerous fanatic, and has spent his life as part of an organized crime syndicate. Most elections, primaries, caucuses were rigged. Almost all show clear criminal activity, and there is no effort to correct this because the election for President of the United States is being managed from Tel Aviv, read Moscow. Okay, and it pages down a little bit here. He makes Obama look good. Does America need a president put in office by another rigged election? This one with 4 wives, only a rumor from people near him, and over 10,000 illegal Swiss bank accounts. Bank capital, according to reliable sources, is one of the biggest sources of terrorist funding on earth. Biggest traders in conflict diamonds